Okay, so today I just gonna show you I what to apa tu reciprocate what TDA have mentioned to us or brief us last Monday, which is yesterday, good, about the OBE document. So when we get down to the OBE document, there are a few things that we need to take care of, especially the content, and also need to have some sort of continuity of it. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you mine, which is also required to be reviewed again or edited again, so that it will be almost perfect lah. So the 7 document that required for OBE document for our curriculum are course info. The first one is actually course info. All right. The second one is Copomac. All right. The third one is actually local taxonomy. Okay. Fourth, Coloki. Fifth is the Mohi KI. The sixth one is JSU. And the seventh one is SLT. Okay, so there are 7 documents that is required. Okay, but for UITM, we have added another 2, which is CAP, which is almost similar with Copomac. Okay, and then there's another one which is CLO SLO alignment, which I will explain perhaps later on, but don't worry about these 2 yet. Okay, don't worry about these 2 yet. So we're just going to concentrate more on the 7 document. Okay, the first document is the course info. I think this is quite straightforward, but still maybe some of you can improve on the what we call this, on the content. Okay, formatting wise, maybe you have to make sure that similar to DDM 503, you can see that the course, when we open in the OneDrive, the format will lari a little bit. So just bear with me. The course name, capital letters. Okay, the course name in capital letters. Level, MQF. The question was asked yesterday, right? What is MQF? So Malaysian Qualification Framework. For the degree program, it is level 6. Okay, for the degree program, it's a level 6. So everyone will have the same answer here, which is MQF level 6. Okay, and then um, for the credit equivalent is 15 for us because we divided 619 over 40. So whatever your SLT is, divide by 40. So when you divide by 40, you might have 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8. So basically, you have to round it up. If it is more than 0.5, 0.5 and more, then you go to the next number. Or if you have 0.4 or less, you go to the lower number. Okay. So for example, you got 14.4, then you go to 14. If you got 14.6 or 0.5, you go to 15. Okay. Sometimes it makes a lot of difference because it will add up more to our credit hours later on. Okay. And then put the student learning time, which is the total student learning time. You only can fill this up once you have done your SLT document later on. Okay. So please double check your student learning time in the course info after you updated the SLT document later on. Okay, so the SLT document is the last document of the 7 document. Okay, so here you have to list out face-to-face and non-face-to-face. So in total for us is 619. So divide by 40, I'll get around 15. Okay, and then for the prerequisites, our faculty does not have any prerequisite courses. So for example, if you want to take my course, you have to pass BMS first. So we do not spell it out here. So everybody will share the same thing, which is none. Okay. And then course learning outcome, make sure you have changed the name dulu. We use course outcome only. Now we have rename it to course learning outcome. So it's instead of CO, now is CLO. All right. And then you have the CLO not more than five. Usually for one semester course, they would have at least three. For more than two semesters course, you have more than three or four. Okay. For us, most of us will have more multiple semesters. So you can go as maximum as five only. Okay, five only. All right. And then please ensure that you have the action verb here. Start with action verb here and matches the Bloom's taxonomy level. Okay, so discuss is C4, perform P5 and A5, appraise C6, formulate C5, P5, A4. So once you put like this, once you have dictate your learning outcomes, it will also dictate your um, uh, method of learning or method of teaching, and then it will dictate the assessment because whatever it is, you will map back to the course learning outcome. Okay, you will map back to the course learning outcome. Remember, when we do vetting, we fill out the form, the vetting form. When we propose a question for vetting, so we have to map to the SLO and also CLO. So that's what it means here. So whatever questions that you map to the, for example, I'm taking number one, CLO number one, wherever question that I map to CLO number one, because it's only cognitive level 4, which is C4 analysis, I can only do on paper exam question. Okay, I cannot do on the what we call this OSCE, which is active OSCE. But if you do OSPE without active questions, you can actually use C4. Okay, but if it is other than on the paper, you cannot map to the CLO number one. So the highest level you can go for if you map to the CLO number one is C4 only. You cannot go to C5. But however, if you map to the CLO number one here, you can actually make the level slightly lower, C3 or C2. But mostly should be C4 in a single exam. So in a single exam, you should have at least map to C4. Okay. If you map to the CLO1, but all of your question is C1 or C2, and the student get a really good marks, then we know why, because you're asking a simpler questions rather than C4. Okay, so that's what it means. And when you put perform here, means that it has to be assessed in psychomotor or effective manner. All right, so it's not on the paper, it's either in the logbook, it's either in the OSCE or in the clinics, whatever it is, as long as it's not on the paper. So when we do this, we have to produce for the assessment, we have to produce a rubrics. All right, so for CLO number 2, I have to show the assessment is carried out by having a rubric, okay, either in the OSCE or in the logbook or in other assessment type, okay. And then CLO3 appraise again is C6, so I can only ask on the paper. All right, and then we have formulate here, we have all range. Okay, so I can ask on the paper, I can ask on the psychomotor, but the big catch here is when you have both paper and non-paper based C5, P5, A4, you have to map the question in the final exam. Maybe you have to consider that there is a paper base and also OSCE base if you map to the CLO number 4, because it has both all components here. So you need to know where you ask the C5 and where you ask the psychomotor and effective. Okay, so um, for me, you have to make sure your CLO is correct first before you do the rest. Because CLO akan menentukan, will dictate your assessment, your method of teaching. And then when you have your assessment, you have your rubrics. And then when you have done all those things, you will know your own SLT later on. Okay, so your SLT, your JSU, your method of teaching, COPOMAT will be determined by having this course learning outcome first. All right. So I hope I make it clear for the course learning outcome. So this is a very serious matter for you to have a good course learning outcomes. Okay. All right. Course description is easy. You can actually make your own words, and you can use ChatGPT to make sure the English is perfect. So just describe about the whole course, how the course is run, how many semesters, and all. Okay. And then for the course content, you can divide the course content into several, what we call this, several a section. I divided into lecture topics, I divided into seminars and also practicals. So for course content, the most important thing is you to have the topic and SLO like this. So every topic, like this is the topic, sorry, this is the topic and this is the SLO on the right side. So the lecturer during the accreditation, um, the lecturer should say that this SLO will be put on the first or second slide. Sorry, keep rolling up. Um, this SLO should be put on the first or second slide where they give lecture, so the student know each of the topic SLO. But we also give in the handbook. Okay, so every topic should have SLO. Basically, the rule of thumb, if the topic is presented for 1 hour, okay, for 1 hour, you could have 2 or 3 SLO at least, okay, 2 or 3. If the topic is more than 1 hour, let's say for 2 hours, we can say it have 3 or 4 or 5 SLOs. And definitely for the SLO, you need to have um, the, what we call this, the action verb as well. Okay, so for me, I think overview ni salah. Sorry, keep rolling up. Overview ni salah. Overview ni I rasa tak ada dalam Blooms. So kena check balik. Oh ada C1. Okay. And then identify semua tu, you kena C2, C1 ke, you just map it out like that. Yes, Asna, you can ask, everybody can shout. Any questions?
Sorry, yang FLO ni, you dah tulis dia punya belum ni.
I dah apa?
Ada belum set at the end of the FLO ni tu. This is FLO, right? The right column.
The right column, yes, yes, betul. SLO, yeah.
Do we need to put the belum straight away in the course info?
Yes.
Mean that every time
Course info, yes, yes. Senang sikit. I would suggest kalau you tak letak pun tak apa actually. Tapi kita orang letak sini because nanti nak buat exam, kita copy paste kat sini, kita tengok, oh, kalau kita map kepada SLO ni, kita tak boleh pergi ke lebih daripada C2. And then bila SLO ni map kepada CLO, CLO to C6. So C2 dengan C6, you tak boleh pergi more than C2. That's why tadi I ada tunjuk, ada satu dokumen yang, dua dokumen yang you all tak perlu risau sangat, which is CAP dan CLO SLO mapping. Yang tu lah what I'm trying to say later on. So kat sini actually kalau I mapkan this topic kepada CLO number 2, which is perform, C2 ni tak boleh sebenarnya. Dia kena ada perform je, dia kena ada psychomotor je. Okay, but oleh kerana yang ni boleh map kepada 2 CLO, kalau one topic, you can actually map to more than one CLO actually. Because sometimes you have knowledge component and you have practical component. So that's why kita ada C2 here dan kita ada psychomotor component here. So this one akan map kepada kita orang punya CLO nombor 3, and then number 1 ni kita orang akan map kepada CLO number 1. Okay, so something like that. Alright, is it okay, Hasna?
Boleh the next C1, C2 range or C2, C3, C3, C4. Can we put the range?
Range dia no, actually dia based on the action verb yang you all letak. Kalau macam you all letak summarize dekat SLO pertama, so summarize tu you kena check lah summarize ni dekat komponen mana, C ke P ke A ke, and then kalau kat sini summarize is C2, so you kena letak C2. Dia tak ada range. Okay, but if you have more than one CLO, you kena buat SLO, you kena tengok lah each of the SLO punya level tu. Boleh? I pun tengah buat ni, I tengah update the OR punya. Pasal OR semua ada satu je, mana boleh. Pasal it's all 1 hour lecture ni. So at least ada 2 atau 3 SLO. Because this is a guide for the student to study kan. Kalau dia want to study, they have to know what is expected from them for each topic. Okay, boleh. Okay, I think let's move on. So this is all SLO. You put SLO in the course content, and then we have practical. I pun tak sure kenapa jadi warna kena highlighted ni. So you can see the practical component here. You can just list it out. And then teaching methodology. D is teaching methodology. I just letak the type of teaching methodology je. And then course assessment. Okay, course assessment ni you take from GSU. I'm sorry, I don't know how to get rid of this highlighted one. For the course assessment, most of you, I think some of you still confused between the type of assessment. Okay, so basically, kalau for E1 ni actually I can put there are dua type, the bigger ones, which is formative and summative. Okay, formative assessment, we do not take the marks for the final exam, which is professional exam for us. Okay, for the summative assessment, it's divided into two. For summative assessment, dia ada continuous assessment dengan final examination. So mine pun salah ni. So kena letak summative. Afiq, I ada betulkan banyak kan you punya dokumen. I letak summative assessment. Okay.
Yeah.
So summative assessment dia akan ada continuous and what we call this continuous and final. So untuk kalau you ikut cara format I ni, E1 ni, you can put summative dulu ataupun you can put formative. Kalau you ada formative, kalau you tak ada formative, do not put it in. Tak payah. Okay, do not put it in because formative tu tak, it's not compulsory for you to have. Some people dia letak formative macam dia buat requirement macam buat wire bending ke, buat sealant, fissure sealant, tapi they only need the student to do assessment, tapi the marks is not taken up for the final. You can be part of the requirement, but the marks is not taken for the final. Okay, so that is formative. When we talk about summative, all the marks obtained from the summative will be calculated for or tabulated for the final assessment. Okay, so as you can see here, my continuous assessment would include block tests, seminar, preclinical practicals, and clinical skills. So this one will comprise of 60%. BMS Hasna, I think 50%. I'm not sure.
Yes, 50-50.
50-50, right? Okay, for the clinical courses, usually 60-40. So for me, summative assessment is 100%, which is 60% is continuous, 40% is professional examination. Okay, so you only terangkan benda tu kat sini je. So I kena terangkan balik ni, final exam macam mana. So we have to make sure our format tu betul. And then there is a single table here. It can obtain from the first table of GSU. So you can show the continuous assessment. This is summative, bukan formative. This is summative assessment. So this is continuous, and then summative. This is professional examination. Okay. So this table, you just have this very, it's quite detailed, tapi nak tak sedetail GSU. Nak lagi detail, you have to go to the GSU punya document. So this is, I think we can take this table from the first table of GSU nanti. Okay, so this is what you should have lah. And then for clinical courses, you akan ada section F, which is minimum required experience and also expected required experience. So this one you can jelaskan lah, you can explain what students should have. So I have all here, what is minimum, what is expected. and then also competencies. Okay, so there are three components here you can explain, which is the minimum required. I boleh tambah lagi lah expected, expected, expected required. Macam tu ya? No, EC something, okay? ECE, minimum required experience. ECE is expected clinical experience, kan? Expected clinical experience, ECE. All right. And then actually another one is competency. Competency. So you can explain everything here. So you can put the MCE, ECE, and also the competency. Okay. The most important here is actually the competency here because um, apa yang panel akan tanya nanti, the panel will ask you what, especially those yang jadi RP, what does your course address? How does your course address the dental undergraduate competency set by the Dean Council? Okay, set by the Dean Council. So, in view of that questions, kita ada satu section lagi competency. So this competency, actually we have a bigger tables here. I think most of you dah ada. This competency is taken up from the Dean's Council punya competency that every dental graduate should have. Tetapi in this section, G, competency, you can put the whole table, but you delete mana yang tak berkenaan dengan you punya courses. So for example, dia ada PLO 1 sampai PLO 9 for the time being. Okay, PLO 1 until 9 from the Dean's Council. Kalau you all tak ada table ni, maybe we can ask academic unit to give it ataupun I can ask Dr. Mariati. I think it's also available in MDC punya website. So I ambil yang Microsoft Word punya ni. And then I list it out here. For Hasnah pun ada because basic medical science pun ada. So you have to list out. Untuk Afiq, diploma, I'm not really sure. I think you tak ada. Betul tak Afiq? Have you come across competency for diploma DSA?
Tak ada.
Tak ada. Okay, so Afiq tak payah ada section G lah. Okay. Alright, so for those yang ada section G, you will have this kind of table and then you just list out mana yang berkenaan dengan kursus you all. So for me, kalau you tengok kan, untuk PLO 1 ni ada banyak. So tapi tengok 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 16. So mana 2, 3? 2, 3, I tak ada kat sini because it's not related to my course. So my course tidak map kepada PLO 1 nombor 2, kriteria nombor 2 dan kriteria nombor 3. Maksudnya kompetensi nombor 2 dan kompetensi 3 tidak berkenaan. So I tak list out kat sini. So only 1, 4 and then we go to 9. Tiba-tiba nombor 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 tak ada. So means that number 10 to number 15 is not for my course. It's other courses. So basically, we have to list all the competencies pertaining to our course only here. So if you look at my course, I address PLO number 1 with such criteria, PLO number 2 with such criteria, PLO number 3, PLO number 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can just put it up here and so that we know your kursus ni, kalau I tanya you, I sebagai panel, I nak tanya you, kat mana you address apply evidence-based approach in the practice of dentistry. I akan tanya. So your lecturer, yang ni dia akan tanya lecturer juga. Lecturer akan tanya, yang ni dalam klinik kita akan tanya guideline mana yang you all guna. For example, infective endocarditis. So kalau tanya student bawah our course, kita orang ikut AHA 2017. So that is kind of a question that they will ask every lecturers kalau dia orang panggil for interview. Okay. Kalau macam perform an appropriate referral ni kan, perform an appropriate referral of a patient based on professional judgment, because my kursus dah map kepada kriteria ni, I kena cakap kat dia orang, oh kita orang ada ajar dia untuk buat referral letter dekat topik apa. Okay, so you know how to jawab where you teach these elements. Okay, so berhati-hatilah when you map tu, you check balik, you ada ajar tak, so for every single criteria of the competency. And then secara amnya I akan listkan kat sini lah. Clinical skill ni PLO 1, PLO 1 nombor 1, nombor 4, 5, 6, 8. So kat mana I address kompetensi tu? So untuk clinical skill I address PLO nombor 1, kriteria nombor 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 16. Untuk PLO nombor 2 I address dekat 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 18. PLO 4 I address dekat nombor 7. So senang. Bila dia orang tanya kat I, okay, PLO 1, kriteria nombor 6, kat mana you address? I pun tengok kat bawah ni, oh dekat clinical skill. So, I senang nak cakap. So, it's easier for me to answer their questions by having this summary. Okay? Right. Kalau you tak sure, nanti you boleh tanya I jugalah. Okay? Alright. So, references ni yang Dr. Siti Mariam tegur hari tu, you have to have the latest one. Macam mana nak cari latest one? Tell your lecturer or RP, please do it. Check dengan Amazon.com. They have probably the latest one. Okay, check dengan Amazon.com. Alright, and you have to have not more than 5 years. At least one buku not more than 5 years old. Okay, and then the star ni, single star means recommended. Double star is high, apa tu, good to read lah. Okay, bila you letak 1 star, library kena ada. Bila you isi dalam IMS, library akan pick up from there yang mana yang single star ni untuk diorang beli untuk di prepare dalam library lah, untuk diorang beli either online ataupun hard copy. Okay. Alright, I think that's it for the course info. Let's move on. Lepas habis tu, you go to Copomac.
Sorry Doktor ni.
Ya.
Tanya, berkenaan dengan PLO, untuk program diploma ni, dia akan ikut sama PLO daripada BDS ataupun dia ada ikut PLO yang daripada MQA standard
MQA. You ada program standard you sendiri, diploma DSC kan? You kena ikut yang tu.
Tapi yang ni dia belum update to the MQF yang nombor 2 because dia baru ada sampai 8 kot yang lama punya tu.
You boleh buat yang baru punya, tapi I rasa tak salah kalau you ikut tak salah kalau you ikut yang lama punya because standard dia tak ikut. So kalau dia kata charge kenapa tak ikut PLO nombor 2, tak ikut MQF 2.0, you can cakap standard tu. Tapi kalau you nak senang, you terus ikut yang baru. Kalau nak senang lah.
Kena modified sikit lah.
Modified sikit, yes. Tapi itulah susah sikit lah kita nak explain kan kenapa kita ikut yang baru. Lepas tu nak map pula. Kalau nanti mungkin dia keluarkan PLO baru, susah pula you nak map kan. That's something yang you kena you probably kena ask MQA. Nanti you get back to me, I can ask for you MQA.
Baik.
Alright.
Thank you
I'll
very
get
much.
back to you on that. Alright. Okay. Untuk Corpo Match, kita ada course learning outcome map kepada program learning outcome yang ada 11 ni, yang MQF yang 2.0 ada 11. Kita map kepada teaching methodology, kita map kepada assessment, dan kita map kepada competency. That's why dia panggil Corpo Match. C. Okay. Alright. So the table yang dekat atas ni, make sure dia selari dengan tempat yang lain. Date dia sebenarnya Julai 2020 I think Julai 2020. Please do that. Date dia. And then student learning time tu ikut yang I cakap tadi lah, SLTU. Okay. And then here the rule of thumb here is untuk every CLO yang you letak dekat sini, you kena map to one PLO only. Kalau dia kata adalah PLO lebih daripada satu, map to the most relevant one. Okay, cuba map to the most relevant PLO only. Okay, katalah you map teaching methodology ni, discuss ni, dia paper based kan, kita I bagi tahu you all tadi, assessment dia kena jadi paper based only, so tak boleh jadi OSCE kat sini, dah salah. So tapi kalau you buat OSPI boleh, macam tu. Okay, so assessment dia boleh jadi MAQ, SCA, BAQ sahaja. Lecture dan seminar, dia tak ada klinik because dia on paper. But if it goes to the perform, dia kena assess dia not on the paper base. So clinical skill test, OSCE or OSPI. Tapi selalunya kita akan namakan dia OSCE lah kalau perform. Okay, OSCE. And then it can be on the lecture, it can be seminar, clinical rotation and clinical skill practical as well. So nak selamat, you don't have to spell out the lecture because lecture ni is actually the didactic one, which is the theory part. So kalau you tak nak, you kata you tak nak letak lecture ni pun tak apa. Okay, you boleh delete. Okay, appraise ni paper base. So paper base again, you tak boleh buat SKI, you letak, you boleh buat OSPI saja. Case portfolio is paper base. MAQ paper base. Competency ni, clinical skill ini bila dia menjawab soalan dalam exam. Kalau macam kita tanya dia, dia dalam klinik, okay, what do you think about this case? You want to use rubber dam or not? Dia akan jawab macam tu kan. So it still can be part of the C6. Okay, part of the C6 clinical skill. Kalau you tak nak buat clinical skill ni because dia C6 only on the paper, kompetensi ni normally kompetensi dia adalah clinical skills, but ada kompetensi macam Hasna, kompetensi dia adalah basic medical science punya knowledge. So it's not really psychomotor competency is everything. Okay, so that's why ada juga dekat sini. Okay, so yeah.
Yang untuk basic medical science biasa dia akan buat test, glucose test. Yang untuk blood pressure pun test.
Boleh. Tapi tapi memang that is psychomotor lah kan. So you make sure yang blood test dengan blood pressure test tu, you punya CLO tu ada komponen psychomotor lah. Jangan ada C.
Boleh.
Apa dia?
A boleh, A level P tu. A boleh tak untuk yang
A pun boleh, tapi kalau ambil blood pressure tu lebih kepada P. Pasal A tu adalah behavior. Macam mana A tu behavior, P tu melakukan, to act, to do something. A tu macam dia respond, you are evaluating dia punya ethics, dia evaluating dia orang punya empathy ke apa benda, that is behavior reaction. Kalau P psychomotor lebih kepada melakukan something. Macam ambil blood pressure tu melakukan something. Okay. Alright. So that is Copo Match. Senang je Copo Match. Tapi Copo Match ni make sure when you put assessment kat sini, you adalah semua jenis assessment dalam you punya GSU. Teaching methodology ni pun you ada spell out dalam course info tadi. And then competency ni you ada spell out dalam course info bahagian kompetensi tadi. Kalau you ada kompetensi so semua dokumen ni dia berkait antara satu sama lain. So you kena double check each other. Panel yang datang ni from the first feedback yang dia baru submit kat kita last week, I tengok cara dia orang komen tersangat detail. Dia orang akan check sampai lubang cacing. So that's why we are a little bit scared, not a little bit, a lot, very scared what they're going to happen when they come in November nanti. So you have to be very prepared for this lah. I pun tak yakin I macam boleh jawab soalan dia kalau dia very detail macam tu. Okay. So yeah, that is Copo Match. And then kita pergi ke local taxonomy. Local taxonomy ni yang C1, C2, C3 lah. So again, make sure your document here. Your document here ada all the CLO dah buat tadi kan. So you just tick to one only you tick to the highest level that you wanted. Kalau macam discuss tadi kan C4. So I only tick dekat C4. Dulu kita tick C1, C2, C3 sampai C4 kan. Now not anymore. You just tick to the C4 only. Okay, so you tick everything here. Alright, so that's very simple for the local taxonomy. Make sure nama you tukar nama you semua tukar, tengok kat atas kalau you jenis yang copy paste, please watch out for the names, takut terambil orang lain punya course. Okay, watch out for the name. And jumlah total ni you kena tengok juga. Yang ni pun kita orang kena betulkan juga ni. Rasa macam dah betul. Okay. Alright. So after local taxonomy, we will go to Koloki Mohi. Okay, Koloki Mohi. Koloki Mohi ni adalah course outcome, learning outcome map to kepada Ministry of Higher Education soft skills. Okay, soft skills. Okay, there is a catch here. There is a catch. I nak kecilkan sikit. Macam mana nak kecilkan sikit? Okay. You all boleh nampakkan walaupun I kecilkan sikit ni. Okay. Kalau you all tengok kat sini, sebenarnya there is a catch. Kalau dia C sebenarnya, my approach is dia kognitif. Bila dia kognitif, dia definitely kena buat dekat LO1 because that is a knowledge, kan? Definitely dia bukan practical because dia C. Thinking and scientific skill boleh, okay. Communication tak boleh because dia lebih kepada behavior and all. Social skill pun tak boleh. Values, ethics, moral and professionalism tak boleh. Dia kena tunjuk cara dia berkomunikasi, cara dia response. That is communication. That is professionalism, ethics and moral. Information management, lifelong learning dia boleh take because dia tahu macam mana nak ambil, nak cari knowledge tu. Okay, so I think if you have C4, you can either map to LO1, LO3 and LO7. Again, LO3, LO7 ni dia adalah considered also as a soft skill by the Ministry of Higher Education. Okay, maybe you kalau nak selamat, you can map kepada LO1 sahajalah because kalau ada LO3, you kena tanya dekat paper base. Macam ni paper base kan, I cakap dia tak ada perform kan. Dia tak ada efektif dengan psychomotor. So, kalau tak ada efektif dengan psychomotor, dia hanya menjawab assessment tu atas paper. So, bila kita ada soft skill, kita kena ada rubric. So, macam mana kita nak buat rubric? So, usually, yang ni I bagi macam my kursus, kita orang ada e-portfolio. E-portfolio, dia orang kena buat case. Dia orang ambil case dari klinik, dia orang letak dalam e-portfolio, submit kepada kita orang on the paper lah. So, kita orang akan ada rubrics mengenai thinking and scientific skill. Kita akan ada rubric untuk information management life bila kita orang map kepada yang ni. So, tak semestinya dalam paper exam ke tak, dalam e-portfolio pun boleh. Because dia orang nak tahu macam mana you evaluate thinking and scientific skills ni. Kalau you map kepada CLO1, dia orang akan tanya soalan macam tu. Okay, so you all kena tahu macam mana nak jawab soalan tu. Okay, bila you all dah tick semua tu, suka hati you all lah, you nak tick yang mana tu. Tapi kalau dia start dengan perform, mestilah you ada all the soft skill kan. Okay, I nak bagi you satu taktik, satu trick untuk LO1, LO2. Okay, dia tak ada dalam Mohi soft skills. Dia very general. Dia either knowledge ataupun practical, very general. So, siapa yang tick dekat LO3 all the way to LO9, you boleh copy macam ni. You copy je. Okay, Control C. And then, you paste dekat sini. SS1 sampai SS7. Paste. Macam mine, I dah paste. So, sama. Maksudnya, kalau dia tick dekat LO3, dia akan sama dengan SS1. Kalau dia tick kat LO7, dia sama dengan SS5. Macam tu. Kalau dia tick dekat LO4, dia akan sama dengan SS2. So, bila you dah siap yang ni, you copy je semua ni, paste dekat SS1 sampai SS7. Okay? So, that's what it means. Okay? That's what it means. Alright. There is a catch juga. So, this document berkait dengan dokumen yang satu lagi, which I'm going to show you next. Okay? So, after you done this, you go to the Mohi KI. Mohi KI. Okay, so katalah nombor satu tadi, I ada map kepada critical thinking dengan pembelajaran berterusan kan. Kalau you ingat tadi, untuk CLO1, I ada map kepada critical thinking dengan lifelong learning. So, you kena tick dekat sini juga. So, kena sama dengan previous document. Semua ni kena sama dengan previous document. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, sekarang ni akan tanya pula level ni macam mana? How do we tentukan level-level ni? Basically untuk degree level, all this level usually 3 dan above usually. Tapi yang ada 3 saja macam ni should be the middle. Macam mana tahu what is level 1, level 2? Yang tu ada dalam UIA ataupun UPM punya dokumen. All of you ada ke tak? Ke tak ada? Kalau tak ada, I boleh share dengan you all nanti. Kalau nak share nanti Afiq, I dah bagi kan?
Apa?
Apa dia?
Sorry, tadi.
Afiq dah ada tak? Yang soft skill, level-level soft skill ni?
Tak ada.
Tak ada, nanti I bagi So maybe I can masuk bagi kat you dan dekat department punya group. Head of department pun I boleh masukkan kalau you all tak ada lagi. Okay? So yang ni panel tak akan tanya banyak sangat. As long as you tick somewhere, okay dah. Tapi kena tick tempat yang betul lah. Okay? Tick tempat yang betul. Okay? Alright. Lepas habis tu, then only kita boleh pergi ke JSU, which is number 6 kan? JSU, yes. Number 6. Alright, number 6 ni, JSU ni yang paling penting. Question level, usually this is the distribution untuk clinical courses. Okay? Distribution untuk clinical courses. Kalau untuk Hasnah, I think slightly different. Hasnah ada C5, C6 ke? I tak sure.
Ada about 10%.
Ada, okay. Then you put lah. Tapi your C5, C6 untuk tu, you tak ada sampai 20 tak?
10% je. Only 10%.
Only 10%, Okay.
Yes.
Alright. So this is rough idea lah. I don't think there is a specific guideline kata you kena buat apa yang apa. Most of the time untuk clinical courses dia kena ada high dengan medium, higher daripada easy. Tapi because higher tu maksudnya campur dua ni. Okay, higher than easy. Okay, so this is 70 ni 30. Alright. Untuk overall assessment, yang ni yang I kata table pertama yang kita copy paste dekat course information. So basically, course information tu adalah summary of some other documents. So you kena siapkan GSU ni dulu. So lepas you buat CLO tu dah tahu apa assessment ni nak buat, then you siapkan table ni baru you paste dekat course info. And then you go to the specific assessment. Okay, so this is summative assessment, continuous. So you listkan lah apa yang ada, you kena ada number of question, allocation of time, marks breakdown and final calculation. Kalau panel tanya, kenapa you buat detail macam ni? Apa tujuan you? Why you need to be this detail? Student takkan baca. Okay, kita tak share benda ni dengan student sangat. Kita share table 1 je yang student. Table-table yang lain tak share sangat. Because if the new lecturer comes in, if you give this whole OBE document, they should understand what is going on with the course. So dia tahu assessment apa, dia tahu topik apa, dia tahu specific topik apa, yang SLO tu specific topik kan. So dia orang tahu apa. So this is part of it. So you have to be quite detailed for every single exam. So I dah list out kat sini. Okay. Ni Dr. Marianti dah komen yang bila dia check hari tu kan for MEQ dan semua lah. Alright, so please have a look at the document whether you are doing the right thing or not. Kalau you need to improve, please do improve, okay? Before you need academic print. So I go all the way the tables ni, because kita orang combine of 4 modules, so banyak lah kita orang punya table. Clinical skill test pun ada, practical microscopy. So kita orang listkan semua kat sini. What are the details here? Okay. Alright. So I think at the end of the document you have to have summative marks punya summary. Kat mana nak ambil markah-markah semua tu, macam mana jadi 100%. Okay, daripada continuous kepada professional examination. So 40% from continuous, 60% of professional examination. So these are the things yang you all kena buat lah. This is simple only. You just list all the type of test or exam. Okay. So that is GSU. So GSU is very important. They will look at it. I pun kena check balik ni apa yang tak betul ni. Okay. Alright. And then the last one is SLT. So for the SLT, you need to have um, several lah. I would recommend kalau boleh you ada total SLT and total SLT by SAM like this. Okay. I think Unit Academic pernah minta kot kita buat by SAM like this. So untuk total SLT, normally I listkan daripada semester, the first semester to the final semester of the course. So semester 1, topics, basic topics and what we call this, seminar ke, practical ke. Masa ni kita orang tak ada practical lagi. So you have to list all. How do you know the number of hours ni? Untuk lecture hours ni you all tahu kan, you all kena tentukan 1 jam 2 jam ke. And then macam mana nak kira non face to face tu, ada guideline daripada Dean's Council. Guideline tu pun available dalam kita ada dalam group tu. Kalau tak ada, you tak jumpa, let me know. Okay, so kalau satu jam,
Dr. Nick,
berapa jam? Yes, Afiq?
sorry. Berkenaan dengan guideline tu, saya tengok dia yang kalau practical dia tak ada. Jap, sorry. Practical dalam mana ada?
Practical tu
Tak ada tulis.
dalam guideline ke Afiq?
Yes, dalam guideline.
Dalam guideline tu practical dia tak ada, dia ada lab practical tau. Dia ada lab practical.
Practical lab. Bukan. Practical lab 3 jam. Apa ya? Itu saya lupa.
Basically
demo.
demo.
Kalau demo.
Basically kalau you buat practical, dia punya guideline dia kalau 3 jam, 1 jam 6 face to face. Dia bahagi 3.
Okay, itu pun saya faham. Cumanya kalau demo tu dalam praktikal ke macam mana? Nak masuk dalam
demo kebanyakan kursus dia buat 1 hour. 1 hour,
itu
2 hours
kategori
preparation.
ke mana tu?
Dia kira lecture.
Dia kira lecture.
Bahasa student mendengar kan?
Okay.
So, macam I think prosto dia orang buat 4 jam, 1 jam tu dikira SLT lecture. Tapi kalau demo tu you ambil masa 3 jam, kalau slot you 3 jam kan, kalau I buka timetable, slot tu ada 3 jam, tapi 3 jam tu itu dia demo and practical, kan? Demo and practical. Demo tu I still kira sebagai practical. I tak nak confusekan. Because lecture tu you kena ada macam satu single slot untuk lecture alone, kan? So demo tu sebenarnya lepas you tunjuk je, dia orang akan buat. Lepas tunjuk dia orang buat. Sometimes some of you buat demo ikut step. Okay, step pertama you buat demo. Lepas tu habis step pertama semua dah habis, dia akan buat step kedua dan demo step kedua pula. So it's easier for you to anggap demo tu sebagai practical.
Okay, so tak salah
Tak salah.
kita masuk ke demo tu.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Alright. So basically there is a SLT. Yang penting sekarang ni bila you all dah kira SLT kat sini, kat belakang ni kan, make sure kalau you guna automatic formula from the Excel, check again. Sometimes kita terlupa yang ada yang tak terkira. Macam kadang-kadang kita tambah row, bila kita tambah row tu formula tak termasuk dalam row tu. So please double check again your what we call this, your SLT punya calculation automatic punya formula tu. Alright, so I listed out by total semester, so that easier for me to refer. So you can see all the way, and then you can see I hope 619 came out at the end. Mana dah? Yeah, 619. You tengok data course info kan, 619. Okay, so untuk SLT, the big catch is exam. Okay, revision ni sebenarnya 20 jam ni actually revision yang dalam apa orang panggil tu, dalam revision week. Okay, kenapa 20 jam je? Because hari tu I think we decided dalam jawatankuasa amanah pula, academic faculty, kita buat 20 because dalam satu minggu tu dia bahagikan kepada beberapa kursus. So, setiap kursus ada 20 jam. If I'm not mistaken. So we decided 20 hours. And for the professional exam, kita listkan exam yang bukan dalam teaching and learning weeks. Okay, untuk kita, kalau you all nak tahu, the normal teaching and learning weeks untuk program lain di UiTM dan mana-mana universiti tempat lain ialah 14 minggu. Tapi untuk BDS, Bachelor of Dental Surgery, the normal teaching and learning time is 17 minggu. When we list out kat sini, professional examination ni dia tak termasuk dalam 17 minggu. Tapi dia nak juga masukkan dalam SLT. So, I campur paper 1, paper 2, paper 3 jadi berapa jam kat sini. So, dia akan jadi face to face. So, akan letak 2.92 kat sini. Alright. So, it will be calculated for the total SLT as well. Alright. Any questions about that? Tak ada. Alright. So far, I think that's it. Ada any questions? Okay, I nak tunjuk sikit. Yang CAP ni, this is a UiTM requirement. Bukannya sangat daripada akreditasi ni. Kalau kita tengok CAP ni, mapping dia lagi banyak. Okay? Tapi dia extract daripada Copo March sahaja. So for the time being, don't worry so much about this. Kalau you all nak buat, you boleh tengok kita orang punya, tapi I'm sure you all pun dah ada because kita buat sekali hari tu kan. This one is actually not so critical for the accreditation. Tapi some of the panel tu kalau dia orang tanya, you ada tak high apps? High apps ni yang ni, yang belakang sekali ni. You all boleh Google what is high apps. Dia ada level 1, 2, 4, 6, semua ada lah. And then assessment task ni percentage wise. Kalau daripada presentation ni 10%. Tapi kebanyakan of you ada pelbagai jenis assessment yang tidak disenaraikan di sini. So it's very difficult for you to agihkan percentage tu. So that's why I think susah sikit untuk all of us map pada ni. Tapi cuba buat, kalau you ada masa, please do complete this one before the accreditation as well. Okay? PLO apa, FQF 1.0 yang lama, MQF 2.0 ni yang sekarang. MOHI ni ada dalam guideline dia. MOHI ni MOHI type apa. So taxonomy domain ni you boleh extract daripada you punya course info tadi kan. Teaching and learning everything daripada Copo March. Assessment task ni yang kena bahagikan lah percentage dia. In total dia akan dapat 100%. Susah sikit yang ni. I found it very difficult for me to agihkan percentage. And then kita ada specific task related to MOHI, MQF, LOD attribute. LOD ni learning domain. I just put final examination, covers all topics. Students are required to perform specific tasks pertaining to clinical diagnostic and examination. You know, very, very vague. Tak adalah macam spesifik sangat. Okay. Sebenarnya dia nak tahu task yang very specific. Tapi kita orang tak boleh nak senaraikan tu because our code dia buat ni untuk semua khusus, tapi untuk dentistry medical susah kita nak ikut cara dia orang ni. Okay, so that is about the caps tadi. Yang last kali tu CLO, SLO assignment ni pun I tengah buat. Yang ni bila exam, bila you map kepada SLO, you map kepada CLO kan. So SLO you tu kalau you buat, you tak boleh lah lebih tinggi daripada CLO because CLO tu is the higher one. Okay. Alright. So I buat macam ni. Course learning outcome, mapping for CLO, for learning level, for assessment items guide. So course learning outcome kita dah ada kat atas ni, ada letak. So sekarang ni mana yang ni dia orang akan tanya juga kerana yang ni I think some of the panel they might ask you, tapi the chances of they asking you ni I would say slim, tapi masih ada. Okay, for example dia akan tanya kalau you map kepada identify the basic descriptive terminology ni, terminology in diagnostic C2, kat mana you nak tanya soalan ni? I akan cakap lah, kita akan tanya dekat kertas, dekat paper based only because it's C2. Tapi you ada tick kat sini ni. Apa maksud tick-tick ni? Tick-tick ni adalah soft skills for rubric. So kalau benda ni tak ada soft skill, tak boleh tick yang ni. Pasal you tak ada tanya dia dalam non-paper based. Okay, so you kena apa tu, make sure kalau ada masa bolehlah buat. I don't think kita ada masa pun kan. So see, I dah buat untuk oral medicine lah. So tik ni. Kalau C2 tak ada rubrics untuk, kalau kognitif dia tak akan ada rubrics. So we have to relook into this lah nanti. Okay. So this one the last one you should do lah kalau ada masa. Kalau tak ada masa, if they don't ask you, you are good. If they ask you, at least I dah beritahu you. You tengok macam mana nak buat. Alright, because I have experience dengan panel-panel ni, dia orang quite tricky, dia orang quite details. Okay. Alright, I think I'm done. Any question from all of you? Dah cukup sejam. Any questions you want to ask? I have taken. Sorry?
Nak tanya tadi berkenaan dengan your CLO, SLO, right?
Yes, yes.
Tadi yang saya kata tak boleh, kita punya question tak boleh higher than our CLO, right? Betul?
Bila you map daripada SLO, you buat soalan you, setiap soalan yang you buat dalam vetting kita tu, kita ada SLO kan, kita map kepada SLO kan. So kalau SLO tu katalah SLO you C6, katalah C6, tapi SLO tu you map kepada PLO juga kan, dalam vetting tu you ada PLO juga. So bila you map kepada satu PLO yang dia adalah C5 kan, C5 maksudnya apa sekarang ni?
Sorry, is it PLO or CLO?
Maksudnya SLO tu lebih tinggi daripada PLO. Sebenarnya SLO tu tak boleh lebih tinggi daripada PLO because PLO is dia adalah tiang kepada kursus kita. So whatever kursus kita ni ataupun program kita ni kena address the required of the program learning outcome ni. Okay? So kalau sepatutnya, that's why I pun kena check juga in my document, kalau I mapkan sesuatu SLO to a certain PLO, if I map to PLO number 2, PLO number 2 is katalah C5, C5. So whatever whatever SLO that map to PLO number 2, which is C5, it cannot be higher than C5. So dia boleh jadi C1, dia boleh jadi C2, C3, C4, C5. And then kalau PLO tu C5 sahaja, dia tak ada psychomotor component, dia tak ada effective component, you tak boleh ada SLO yang map kepada yang ada psychomotor or effective. So you get what I mean? Kalau dia kognitif je. Kalau dia ada psychomotor, dia kena map juga. CLO tu kena ada yang psychomotor lah. Okay tak?
Okay, macam BMS, saya check, memang dia punya course outcome ni paling tinggi pun C4. Tapi dalam JSQ, dia ada 10% for C5 to C6.
Tak boleh. Tak boleh. You have to make it correct. Yes. Kalau boleh, I think dulu-dulu masa ITDA kita pernah discuss about this. I think dulu kita decide there is no C5 and C6 for PMS. Kan? So that's why you tak pergi beyond C4. So your pembahagian percentage tu kosong untuk C5, C6. Okay? Itu yang what I understood lah. I might be outdated lah because I bukan TDA.
Kami kena betulkan JSQ balik lah ni. Kena buang, kena letak zero.
Yes. CLO. Kalau you tak ada, you tengok balik lah CLO you tu ada C6 ke, ada C5 ke tak?
Tak ada. C4 kali ni.
Then your question cannot go beyond the C5, beyond the C4. Okay?
Okay, faham. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Anyone else? Ada question? Okay, before we end, I ada take home message. Please make sure your lecturer tahu what is OBE. Because kita fail bila 2 kali audit datang, our lecturers tak dapat jawab what is OBE. So maybe kita boleh, I don't know, you all minta dia orang baca sikit lah what is OBE. Macam yang dokumen ni is the application of OBE. But the concept tu takut dia orang tanya. Because this panel dia akan baca komen-komen panel yang lepas. Bila dia baca komen-komen yang lepas, dia nak tahu kita dah buat correction or not, kita ada buat tindakan or not. So kalau kita ada, selamat. Maksudnya kalau dia tanya lecturer kita what is OBE, dia orang dapat jawab. But if they don't, if they were unable to answer, then we are in big trouble. Consequences dia is a lot. It's not just for the faculty, but for the university and also definitely for us lah. So please make sure you prepare this, okay? So I think I have recorded this session. Kalau you nak suruh lecturer you dengar pun, I think boleh. But I reserve my comments kalau ada yang outdated lah, because I'm not the TDA kan. Maybe the TDA will know the most updated information. But what I know, this is what I've been teaching other universities as well lah, how to do the OBE document. Okay? Alright.
Share dengan QF members tak?
Sorry.
Let's share your video dengan my...
Boleh. Yes, boleh.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you everyone. Kalau tak ada soalan. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you so much.
Bye.